Hello and welcome. I'm Emma Turton. If you're new to my world, I'm a medical intuitive and founder and director of Medical Intuition School. And today I am talking about cord cutting. So there's a post doing the rounds, and I have had quite a few questions coming my way about my take on cord cutting. Is it something we should do? Is it something we shouldn't do? Is it a part of healing? Does it create healing within the body, or does it create disruption within the body? Is there any merit to it at all, or is it dangerous, as this post is putting out there? And I find it really interesting when people put these posts out into the world. So with my work, so interesting. So my work, I spend, a lot of my work doing one-to-one work with clients, where I am able to intuitively read their body, read their energy, read their soul. And I also teach this work to other medical intuition practitioners so that they can do this deeper work with clients as well. So if you're interested in medical intuition practitioner training, I will put the information into the comments after I finish this video so you can check out the course prospectus. I am open for enrollments for 2023. So I've been called to talk about cord cutting today because so much of the work that I do is with people who have experienced the effects of the unethical use of energetic attachments from others within the spiritual world. So I speak about energy and the ethical use of energy in my course, Energetics. I will drop the information for that down below as well. That's an instant access course you can grab hold of. But I speak about this in there, and I want to speak about this at the front end because this is actually really important. It's very easy to look at information from people who have written books, who have a massive following, and believe that what they say is true. That it is something you need to change the way you're doing things. And I will speak a lot more about cord cutting and the specifics of cord cutting shortly. But I want to bring your awareness to the unethical use of energy in the spiritual world. This is really common. It's not something I want to incite fear around. We all need to have a sense of self-responsibility around our own energy and around how we interact with others. But it's really important for us to have our eyes wide open and our blinkers off. Many of us, myself included, came into the spiritual world, potentially feeling like we didn't know as much as other people, or we were naive around the use of energy. And we were, playing catch up in terms of how energy is used. And now that I've done so much work over the last 10 years with clients as medical intuitive, I have literally seen the damage that is done to people through that unethical use of energy and energetic attachment. And those attachments can last for many years and follow you around, draining your energy. Now, this isn't something where somebody is going out of their way to, hook into you necessarily and to deliberately steal your energy without you knowing. We are always participating in an energetic attachment. We are always participating in an energetic drain. We are always participating. It's always two-way. So on some level, we are always allowing or intending for our energy to go towards that person, event, or thing, even if it's on a subconscious level as opposed to a conscious level. So it's important for us to know that we are participating, because when we know we're participating, we can change that. Yes, we have the power to change our experience. We have the power to change our participation and our amount of energy that goes towards that thing or that person. So there are people who understand energy very, very well in the spiritual world who don't necessarily honor or even understand the boundaries of another human energy field, and who take advantage of the naivety of many of the people in the group. Hello, Wendy. So nice to see you. Oh, hi, Charlie. Yep. Thank you for joining me live. Only just seeing the comments now. So thank you so much for joining me live. Do you mean you want to join in Medical Intuition Practitioner training, or you want to join in my conversation? You can join in to have a chat with me here, no problems at all. So the there are people who do use energy in a way that is unethical. There are people in the spiritual world who don't understand the natural boundaries they should be honoring of their own energetic field. Yeah, chat first, absolutely. No problems, Wendy. I'll put a link in so you can have a chat with me if you would like. So they also don't understand the natural boundaries of other people's energy fields. Often that's because they may have been born into the world very, very energetically open and very connected, and have not had that squashed throughout their childhood, like most of us have that squashed, where we, are taught to hide that part of ourselves as children, taught to disconnect from that part of ourselves and then have to relearn it as an adult. If they haven't had that, then they may be incredibly very energetically open and don't actually know where their boundaries are or should be, and also don't know or understand where another person's boundaries should be either. And so it may not necessarily be a malicious attack of your energetic boundaries, but there are people who use energetic attachments to keep you in their field, to keep you, perhaps purchasing from them out of a sense of fear, and who keep you within the realm of their group. And, you can see this very much in the cult world as well. But often these people do have beliefs they put out into the world, or principles they put out into the world, that say you should not use cord cutting, you should not use energetic protection, you should not use anything that might actually alert you to the fact that you have this energetic attachment, and therefore might disconnect the energetic attachment to this person and sever their influence over you. Because it makes perfect sense, right? If you are aware of that energetic attachment and you take steps to change its attachment to you, then that other person, that other individual, does not have influence over you energetically anymore. Which is why they advocate for no cord cutting. They advocate for no protection. Now, I want to make it clear that I believe, you can find out a lot more about how I work in terms of protection or energetic attachments in energetics. And if you have issues with people attaching to you and you really are a very highly sensitive person, then Empathology is the course for you. I will also drop the link for that here after I finish my video. If you're interested, you can check out all the details. These are instant access courses you can look at to help you learn how to honor your own boundaries and where they are and should be, and what shouldn't be inside your energy field, and what to do about that, right? So it makes sense that these people who have this unethical use of energetic attachments as a part of the work they do, that they will advocate for no cord cutting. They will advocate for staying connected to painful experiences, painful people who are causing you harm or causing pain for you, causing suffering. They will advocate for no protection. They will advocate for no stopping their ability to access your energy field. And I want to bring your awareness to that because it's so important for you to know what should or should not be within your energy field, to know yourself very, 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 very well. So when in real time someone comes in who shouldn't be there, who is messing with you in a way that they shouldn't, you can see it happening, you can feel it happening, and you can take the steps to stop it happening. That's important. That I absolutely teach in Empathology. And so if that is something that you would like to know more about, I will put that information in the comments below. But it is so important for you to know that you have the power to do that, that you are not at the mercy of anybody else around you. But it's so important for you to actually get to know your own field so that you know what's meant to be there and what's not, right? Because your field is an extension of you. It comes first before your physical body. When your field is out of alignment, your body becomes out of alignment. It creates illness and injury within the physical body, and that creates ill health. So it's important to have energetic hygiene. When it comes to cord cutting, there was talk in the post that I read about, you're cutting cords and then you've got this energy that's pouring out and you've still got cords everywhere. So I don't really teach cord cutting as a part of my work. What I talk about is intentional unplugging. So I see energetic attachments in the work I do. I see, I intuitively connect with my clients. I see this energetic attachments. They are sometimes there, and often they are there by choice. We stay energetically attached, for instance, to our family. We stay energetically attached to big events from our past as well, often. But we can also stay energetically attached to people, places, and events outside of us that are really draining our energy. But the attachment goes two ways. The outside thing, a person, is attaching to us, but we are also choosing to allow that attachment to be there. We have to give permission, even on a subconscious level. We have to give permission for it to come into our field. But what we have the choice to do once we are aware of that attachment is we can unplug, and I see it a lot like an electric cable, electric cord plugged into the wall. It's you unplug from it and you reel back in your energy. You call your energy home so that you're no longer putting your energy into that attachment. The attachment may, still be floating around out there that's attached to the other person, ready to attach to somebody else, but it's got no attachment to you. There's no drain to you. Your energy is no longer pouring out of you to that thing. Signs and symptoms of an energetic attachment, I think, is probably something that I should share here as well. If you are unable to think about something else, if you are finding that you are really hurting from a particular person, place, or event, you are obsessed with it, it is taking all of your energy, you cannot find your way through it, you cannot get out of it, you cannot figure out a way forward, you are thoroughly energetically attached to that person, place, or thing. Now, it could be a political party, it could be an election, it could be a sports team, it could be a spiritual leader, it could be a friend, a family member, someone who said something to you, it could be a conversation that you had, it could be a time from your past. If you feel an energetic charge, like an emotional charge, still there when you think about that person, place, or thing, then you are energetically attached. Your emotional charge will tell you whether there's an energetic attachment. Now, you can still have that traumatic event from your past or that particular person who used to trigger you, but if you no longer feel that emotional trigger, when you think about them, when you talk to them, when you think about that thing or that event, then you no longer have an energetic attachment. You can still think about it and talk about it, but without the energetic attachment. The emotion is the key there. If you have the feeling attachment to that event or that person, then you are still very much draining your energy out to them. So I want you to know what an energetic attachment is first. So when it comes to cord cutting is, I see that, I mean, it's certainly not healing. So you can say, oh, I've cut cords with that, so I'm all good now. Nah, that doesn't do it. Yeah. So you can cut cords, and most people think of cutting cords as like visualizing a sword or Archangel Michael or somebody coming in and slicing the cords, and you can slice all the cords you want. But if you haven't done the deep inner work about why you were pouring your energy out there in the first place, all of that emotional trigger that is still happening between you and the thing, if you still have an emotion towards that person, you go, oh, I cut cords with them because I hate their guts. You still have an energetic drain there. You're still fully attached to them on an energetic level. You may have in your life gone, okay, I've cut them off, I'm not doing anything with them. That's not the same thing. So if you cut cords and don't do that deep energetic work, that spiritual forgiveness work, that deeper rewiring of your nervous system, your energetic field, your subconscious mind, if you don't do that deeper rewiring, then you are not going to experience any healing from that process. You're also not necessarily going to be pulling your energy back in from that cord cutting. So it's one of the reasons I like the intentional unplugging, where we visualize electric cords plugged out into the world, into events, into people, into places, into teams, into events of the world, into people that have, we may have perceived them to have wronged us in the past, and pulling that cord out intentionally, coiling it back up, pulling it back into our field, plugging up the hole and the leaks, and then holding our own energy within our field, allowing ourselves to be within our field. Charlie, can you unplug from a family member really negative, even though you still live together and want to be together? That is such a good question, and I find that it's an interesting one to navigate. I honor you for navigating wanting to be together and still being able to unplug from the negative. Yes, you can. It takes real intentional practice on your part to be able to know your own energy really well, and when you're feeling connected to and influenced by the negative impact of that family member. Sometimes we have to, right? Sometimes we have to find a way forwards. You know, whether it's a child that we have that's in our care that you know, we feel that energetic drain, that energetic attachment, or it might be a partner, it might be a parental figure that lives with us, it might be, you know, a sibling that lives with us. Sometimes we have to find a way forwards. And so, yes, you can, but it is about knowing your own energy field really, really well and doing the work to be aware of those energetic drains, those emotional triggers that may pop up. When they rub you the wrong way, know that that's a mirror being held up for you to really have a look at why you're allowing your energy to go to that. Why does it matter what they say or what they think? Why does it matter to you? What is it that you're not giving yourself there? It's also really important for me to say here as well that if you're in an abusive relationship, that it is important for you to create real physical boundaries around yourself, to create safety around yourself. Your energy field will never feel safe. Your nervous system will never feel safe if your physical body is not safe. So it's really important for you to take those steps if that applies to you, to get yourself out of that relationship. Sometimes we have to distance ourselves even from the people that we love. Not emotionally, physically. Sometimes we have to physically distance ourselves even from the people that we love to be able to do this work, to come back into our whole self, to be whole again. So I hope that answers your question, Charlie. Let me know if you want to speak about that more, if there's anything else there for you. But it's so important with cord cutting, with protection. If you are in a group with a spiritual leader of any kind who is advocating for you to allow yourself to remain attached energetically to things and forces outside of you, to people outside of you, then it's time to have a really good look at the group you are in. You're so welcome, Charlie. It's time to have a really close look at the people you're surrounding yourself with, time to have a really good look at that spiritual leader, time to have a really good look at why you're in that group and what you are getting out of it and how it may be taking energy from you. Because there is a strong chance that they are advocating for no cord cutting or advocating for no protection because they want you to remain under their influence energetically. They want you to remain vulnerable. If you have no awareness of it happening and you think that you're completely impervious and safe without taking any action or being aware, then you're really vulnerable. Yes? So I want to stress that because I think that that is something that, you know, I really wasn't aware, and I would have liked to have known that at various points in my spiritual journey, to have my eyes wide open, because I didn't realize that there would be people. I was just really green. Yeah, I didn't realize there would be people who would use their energetic influence unethically. And I have worked with so many people who have been damaged by the unethical use of energy in other spiritual circles. Many actually of spiritual leaders that I had previously looked up to or had, you know, enjoyed their books, had enjoyed their work, had followed their work, and then seen the fallout firsthand in a person's physical body and energetic body, of the damage that's done when that energy attachment is used unethically. You know, it causes real physical harm. It causes cancer. It causes autoimmune disruption. It causes hormone disruption. It causes real physical harm to the physical body. Not just, this isn't just, you know, woo-woo spiritual stuff. This is real physical illness that can be caused in the body by the unethical use of energy within spiritual circles. So this is something for you to be very, very aware of. It's a bit of a red flag, yeah? If someone says you don't need to protect yourself from anything, you're perfectly safe in the energetic realms, then it's a red flag, okay? But I want to stress that when you are practicing that intentional unplugging from the attachments, the energetic attachments outside of you, that is just the beginning of the healing work. That isn't the end and the all of it. That, you know, whoop, oh yeah, I've pulled my energy back, I'm all good now. Like, yeah, that can be your maintenance once you've done the deep inner work. But the deep inner work starts at that point. You pull your energy back and you start to look at, okay, why was my energy going there? What have I not forgiven within myself? What is my higher self? What do we need to work on here? What, you know, come on team, me and my higher self. What are we going to do here to sort this out? Okay, let's look at this deeper wound that I have, you know, been working with here, that I have allowed to be present. Why is it here? What's it here to show me? What is it here to teach me? What am I here to grow and love about myself? When he says, you know, the people around you after a while, they are energy vampires. Yeah, so, you know, energy vampires are an interesting one. And I have done a video once on energy vampires. I'll link that into these comments too, in case you want to go and check out my video on energy vampires. I will drop that link here. But we always participate willingly in an energy vampiric environment or relationship. So that always, you know, that can be quite confronting. That when that information landed in me while I was working with my clients, I was like, no, I do not participate willingly in this. This is all one way. They did this to me. But actually, in reality, energy is always two-way. It's a giving and taking. It's not just a taking. We always benefit in some way from the giving to the taker. And that is often, you know, you can see that beautifully in the narcissist and empath relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship between energy types, where it can look like one is doing stuff to the other, but they're actually both benefiting from that interaction. So I've also done another video on that. I might drop that in here as well, if that's interesting for you. But so keeping in mind that even in an energy vampire relationship, those people who you know are real energy suckers, there's still an element of you allowing your energy to go there, which is why that intentional unplugging from the energy suckers in your life. Yes, there are people who are more primed to need energy from others. Their energy field is unstable for a variety of reasons that they can work on, that can change. And, you know, everyone can become unstable at times where they suddenly need the energy of others to help them feel stable. I'm sure you may have experienced that at times where you actually needed to depend on somebody else for a little while. And, you know, we have enough energy to go around. But if that's your pattern, if you always are depending on other people's energy for your own energy, then that is the energy vampire relationship that we're usually talking about there. So those people who suck your energy out and you feel really like depleted after having an interaction with them, on some level, part of you is still allowing that connection to happen, that drain to happen. If you know that that's a person you have that vulnerable connection with, that you often are drained by, then you limit the time you spend with them. You maybe have phone calls instead of in-person meetups. You perhaps have ways to shift up the conversation, shift up that energetic attachment, and to become really aware of your own field. So you know when, you know, it's going beyond your boundaries, and you know how to take gentle, loving action to change that. You don't have to say, you're a vampire, leave me alone. You can actually still have a friendship with that person, but you know, you may want to try keeping them at arm's length until you get back in charge of your own energy field and understand your own boundaries and what needs to be within your field and what doesn't, so that you can manage that relationship better. Or it may be a relationship that you end for the time being until that person has become more stable, and you yourself, because if you are in that two-way energy drain relationship with an energy vampire person, then you are also unstable. Your energy field is unstable, but in a different way. So you're not taking energy from others. You're unstable and just, letting it go. You're just giving it away. So you don't have, you've got really floppy boundaries there. So it's about working on that, coming back and just attaching, keeping those people at arm's length for now, if you can, and go, okay, I need to get back into my own energy here. I need to build myself up again from the inside. Empathology is really good for helping you to do that as well. So I will put that link into the comments there. Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? So let me know if you have any questions about cord cutting. Let me know if you have any comments, or if you've experienced that attachment from another person in a way that, has caused you disruption. Let me know, and we can have a continued conversation in the comments as well. Lottie says, I feel like my partner does this. I'm not happy at all. I'm honouring your feelings here, Lottie. It's no fun being in a relationship where we feel like we are, having our energy drained by our partner. When we partner with somebody, we are choosing to join our energy with our partner. Whether man, woman, whoever we partner with, no matter who they are, we are choosing to join our energy with our partner. And so ideally, in the ideal relationship, which, I think nobody has the ideal relationship all of the time. I think we have this idealized view, but I think there's always give and take. There's always a partner that needs more energy, and then the other partner needs more energy, and then the other partner needs more, I think there's always a give and take, because different things happen in each other's lives, and there are times when each of us needs more support than the other, and ideally we don't all need support at the same time, this is when it can become a problem. So in the ideal relationship, there's a free-flowing energy that moves back and forwards within the partnership, so that at any given moment, each person within that partnership is bigger than the just the sum of its parts, right? You have more energy available to you than just your own energy, and so do they, which means that together you make up more than just 1 + 1. So that's the ideal relationship. So it's about looking at that relationship to work out how much you want to be in the relationship with the person if it's all one way. Remembering, of course, that if that energy movement is all towards them, if you're giving your energy to them all of the time, that on some level you're giving permission for that energy to be going to them all of the time. On some level you aren't taking a stand for what your needs are. So I invite you to take a stand for what your needs are, to ask for what you want. You're allowed to ask for what you want in a relationship. I had this conversation with my beautiful mum yesterday, because it's so different from her generation to ours. And I say this so many times to so many of my clients and so many of the people in my world, particularly as a woman. In previous generations, we were taught that we were not allowed to have wants to begin with. We're not allowed to have desires. We're not allowed to ask for what we want. We're not allowed to ask for what we want from our husbands. We're not allowed to ask for what we want at work. We're not allowed to ask for what we want in life. We're not allowed to ask for what we want even in a restaurant. But you know what? Times have changed. You are allowed to ask for what you want in life, in the bedroom, in your relationships, in the kitchen, in a restaurant. You're allowed to ask for what you want, and you are allowed to receive it. And so, we can do that with love. We can do that with compassion. We can do that with gentleness and understanding for where our partner is as well. And we can do that with fun and playfulness too. And we can remind them that it's okay for them to ask for what they want too. Because it is, right? It's just that men often know how to ask for what they want more. Because culturally, it's been okay for a lot longer for them to be able to do that. Women are only learning to do that in my generation and beyond. So it's new for many of us. But as I said before, if you are in an abusive relationship, if there is abuse within your relationship, then it's time to think very long and hard about whether or not you want to stay in that environment. But if it is that energy, that feeling of that energetic attachment and drain towards your partner, then you can work on your boundaries. You can work on knowing what should be within your field. You can work on your side of that energetic agreement, and you can start to advocate for yourself within that relationship as well. I hope that helps. I hope that you have learned something today. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to do another live training on anything around any of the topics we've talked about today. I'll pop all those extra links into the comments below. I have quite a few different offers, and if you are working in the field of service, I have a brand new live training coming up in a couple of weeks called Unshakable Service, to help you break out of the burnout cycle so that you can serve your clients more deeply, so that you can build a booming, sustainable business, and so that you can enjoy your life a whole lot freaking more. So let me know if you are interested in that. I will be putting the link in the comments below so you can check that out, but you can join me live for 5 weeks from February onwards. So I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching the replay if you've watched the replay, and thank you to those who have joined me live. Thank you so much for your beautiful questions. It's such a joy to have you here. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Mwah. Bye now.